CRISPR Roots 40 history lesson. A couple real interesting items emerging from veterans, I guess you'd say. Some more than others. Eric Bibb, the kind of expat bluesman, fascinating veteran who I hadn't run into really, or hadn't quite gotten to Eric Bibb, but now I have, but I got a ways to go. And Lone Justice, the cowpunk band. And they have a, I'm not sure what this is, man. It's some kind of reissue of demos or maybe re-recorded to some extent, but they sound very 80s, and they sound very punk. An album called VIVA, that I'm still trying to figure out a little bit, by Lone Justice. Lone Justice. I guess let's talk about Bibb first. There's a guy's in his 70s. I think he's living in Stockholm. And what a fascinating body of work. I'm still only beginning to find this out because I kind of fell for this new album. And then I started to realize what I was listening to. Eric Bibb, he's very political. I've been listening to albums, and I still have lots to listen to. He's been around for a long time, since the 70s maybe, and recording since the 70s, I think. And although it could be earlier, even. No, I guess not. And songs, you could teach Black history out of Eric Bibb's songbook. He's got amazing lessons and amazing spiritual conclusions from lessons. And, his last album was called Ridin', and had a whole bunch of, I guess you'd say, scenarios from Black history, like a strong song about Tulsa, for instance, and Black Wall Street. He's a unique stylist. Very low key. Even in the songs that are underneath angry, right? Like, he's got a kind of mellow vibe. The spirituality seems real because his performances seem egoless. In this, I would compare him to one of my favorite artists, Augustus Pablo, the reggae melodica player, who's likewise very intensely spiritual, and who also, like Bibb, you just have the vibe that there's nothing he wants to prove. This is not about him in a way. Okay? So that's rare in a musician, man. And I'm not saying that that's the best thing to be as a musician in a way. If you're a virtuoso and stuff, usually you want to show that. And I might want to hear it too. Okay, but Bibb is quiet, hanging back, but telling you the story fully and carefully. It's an interesting and unique oeuvre that I'm just getting acquainted with. Also, I think he should be, maybe he is, but he could be a great source for the new rising Black roots artists. Last couple of ones I've done, young Black blues artists and stuff. He never stopped playing the banjo and stuff like this, Rhiannon Giddens, and all your folks. There were Black banjo players this whole time in a way, and someone like Eric Bibb, who's so conscious of the history, is I doubt that he's irritated with the new rise of Black Roots music, but I hope he's also is a source and a legacy for that. But this, in the real world, is his new album, and it is really alive and really good. I mean, like I say, I've listened to a few of his albums now. This is one of the best, I think. So how about this for like just a rootsy thing? I mean, mostly he's a guitar player. This is banjo. I mean, maybe he's strumming mandolin and stuff like this too. Or maybe others are doing this with him. It actually has great bands and stuff. Robbie McIntosh, the former Pretender, who's also played with everyone else, is on this album. But anyway, here's Walk Steady On. I think original, spiritual. And, so this is kind of spiritual blues. I guess Blind Willie Johnson would be one example. All right.
No more water, but to find next time. And no more water, but to find next time. Next time has come, look around. Next time has come, look around. Trouble rolling like thunder, tearing this world asunder. Keep walking in the gospel, we walk steady on. Walking in the gospel, we walk steady on. And when you get weary, pray on. When you get weary, children, pray on. Sorrow will have an end one bright day. Lean on the rock of ages when the storm is raging. Walking in the gospel, we walk steady on. Walking in the gospel, we walk steady on.
Right, and this album does walk steady on. It's very, I was putting it on in the car yesterday, and my wife Jane said, like, what's that? I like that a lot. I don't always get that response. And it's the mellow and the hangback but the meaningfulness and the commitment that you hear. It reminds me a little bit, the self-consciously mellow vibe. I guess it's Pablo, but another person I might mention is J.J. Cale. And the guitar sounds a little like J.J. Cale, who was also very, very bluesy artist in the 70s and widely admired. Less widely heard, though, maybe. And just had a real hang-back electric guitar style, in the groove, not trying to show you a whole bunch of fireworks, man, just trying to express the song and give you a chill vibe. And in this case, it lets you hear it. It focuses you on the words, the chill vibe. Here's a lovely song. We did a baseball ballad the other day, but this is a baseball and political ballad, Stealing Home. Eric Bibb was born in 1951. Jackie Robinson stole home in the World Series in 55. This might be one of Eric Bibb's earliest memories. I don't know. Stealing Home from In the Real World by Eric Bibb. B-I-B-B.
1955. Tension in the dugout, buzzing like a beehive. Yankee Stadium went wild when Jackie won the race. I nearly lost my mind when the ump called him safe. He was fearless like Daniel in the lion's den, taking on an evil system with the courage of 10 men. Can't count the times he caught a hateful look, keeping his cool while his inside shook. Saved by a whole nation, all eyes on the game, not losing his concentration when he was called that upper name. I felt joy in every bone, watching Jackie steal it home.
Boy, I like that whole package, that swampy guitar and slide and stuff. I don't know, it's Robbie McIntosh, Eric Bibb. The metaphor of stealing home and race. I don't know, man. Okay, and that's a typical Eric Bibb, historical flourish, quotes from Baldwin, etc. So I just want to say this is someone I am going to be exploring more. I'm glad to have been introduced to him, though, this week by his new release. All right. Let's talk about cowpunk. Or I was trying to sell this as a rock critic in the early 80s, punkery. But I don't think that's going to work. So I think it ends up being cowpunk. All right, there's a big interface between country and punk. You wouldn't necessarily immediately think that. And if you really wanted to talk about this, you could write a book or talk about it for an hour or two. Anyway, all right, but we're not going to do that. Lots of the early and even hardcore 80s punk bands did some stuff country-like. Social Distortion, the LA hardcore band, really one of the best, I guess, probably, ended up as basically a country band. So did the Meat Puppets, they were also Southern California, maybe they were from Arizona originally, I'm not sure, the Meat Puppets. I saw them doing a pretty hardcore country set. That was 15 years ago, maybe. I'm trying to remember now when that was. The band X, probably the best example in the sense of someone who stood up, an act who's kind of beloved, X. I interviewed them in London when they were on tour in the early 80s, and I had a hell of a time with them, man. I don't know what was going on with their lives or my life, but it was... Maybe they picked up the vibe that I didn't love their music. Okay, so I didn't love. I was a cowpunk skeptic, and as a critic, I was a cowpunk skeptic in the early '80s, the golden era of cowpunk. I listened to hardcore country all the time, and I listened to hardcore punk all the time, and I thought that this had neither. Okay, I thought the average country band in Nashville was so much better, okay, at doing country music. And the average hardcore band in New York or whatever, or DC, my DC, was so bringing the aggro, bringing the punk attitude so much better. And I felt like these bands were full of shit. I guess I still feel that about Rubber Rodeo. Well, I should listen again. Rubber Rodeo and Lone Justice were the coming cowpunk, and I killed them both in print. I'm trying to remember who I wrote it for, okay? Because I was writing for a lot of different people in the early '80s, but I definitely tried to destroy the first Lone Justice album, and then I tried to destroy the first Rubber Roadie album. Now, I think, looking back on it, I was right about the Rubber Rodeo album, though I need to really carefully listen again, although I don't want to. But I might have been wrong about Lone Justice. Okay? That first Lone Justice album, they only put out 2. And the whole movement flopped. Okay? And the second one, I'm remembering pretty vaguely, but really sucked, man. But it was pretentious cowpunk. Like, what? All right. Now, on the other hand, though, that girl could sing, man. What's her name again? Oh, shit. Okay, I guess there was actually a critical controversy, and I was talking to my fellow critics at times at gigs and stuff about these developments, and people I respected told me that Lone Justice was a great band, amazing in a bar. Okay, they said, or a theater, like a big gig. Linda Ronstadt discovered them, okay? Like Tom Petty was writing for them, okay? There was like the most can't-miss band ever. And then famously, they just got mishandled. Like it just didn't turn out to sound good enough and shit. Like I say, man, it's just, the marketing didn't work out and everything. I don't know, man. So it's a famous case of a legend. There is a legend that they sounded great, okay, and that it never quite came off on record. The first record, Better, was the best, representation. Later they put out, I think, even a collection of their demos because no one knew. People who saw them were the only ones who knew that what Lone Justice was doing as a punk band in L.A. in the early '80s. All right, where a lot of shit was going on. Now, this album, Viva, I think it's material from that era. I don't know how it's recorded. Okay, maybe it's re-recorded. Maybe it's remastered. I get the sense that her vocals are from back in the day. Or, I don't know how this album Viva by Lone Justice came to be. But guess what? It's their best album. It's a real good representation of cowpunk in several different dimensions that you didn't even know could possibly exist. All right, so that's interesting. So how about this song, Jenny Jenkins? Nice country punk song.
Will you wear beige, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear beige, Jenny Jenkins?
No, I won't wear beige cause it shows my age. I'll buy me a folder of it
Till it don't seek it, never use it cause I roll to find me.
roll. Jenny Jenkins roll.
Will you wear yellow, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear yellow, Jenny Jenkins?
No, I never wear yellow cause I wouldn't get a fellow. I'll
Buy me a folder of it till it don't seek it, never use it cause I roll to find me.
roll. Jenny Jenkins roll.
Will you wear brown, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear brown, Jenny Jenkins?
No, I won't wear brown cause I never get around. I'll
Buy me a folder of it till it don't seek it, never use it cause I roll to find me.
Jenny Jenkins roll.
All right, that's crunchy organic, and it's punk as shit, but it's it rattles kind of, and it's country as fuck. And Maria McKee can do a whole bunch of stuff. Maria McKee, that singer, can actually sing a country song. There's a cover of I Will Always Love You on here, and she does it well. Okay, that's a futile effort, right? Whitney and Dolly, but she does it well. Maria McKee, okay, she's this is more like how you should be. You could be a cowpunk band, like almost playing acoustic guitars, banging on drums, and doing slow, sad ones and doing attitude ones like Jenny Jenkins, and pulling in various aspects of the tradition and kind of making fun of them and kind of slamming your way through them and kind of loving them. Like, so I don't know, this was the cowpunk band I needed, the cowpunk moment I needed to hear, but I didn't hear it in 83, all right? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's the real punk shit, man. And the singing, too, man. And, wow. And the bashing guitars. And that's got the genuine vibe, man. Like I say, cowpunk could have persuaded me if they had given me this. One more, Alabama Baby.
Talk about your daddy, boys, I got one. He's my Alabama baby, he's so much fun. He's my Alabama baby. Shut up, no stuff. But he's the hottest thing in town. Lord,
How about the blues?
he does a shimmy in the daytime, boogie at night. He's my Alabama baby, and he does it right. He's my Alabama baby. Shut up, no stuff. But he's the hottest thing in town. Lord, that's boy I can't love. Yeah. Well, we boogied last night and the night before.
Oh, man. Well, maybe cowpunk has just aged well. Or maybe my head has changed. And I used to be a very genre purist. Like, you're going to do country or you're going to do punk, and you should do them right at the center of the genre. That was my opinion then. Maybe I'm just a little more open to genre crossings now. But maybe this is just the best Lone Justice record by far. All right? And maybe the best cowpunk record. I don't know if you count X. And I'm sorry, Robert Talese, I don't love X, but I know you do. And I respect the fact that you think Billy Zoom is a great, great guitar player. I should listen again. All right, that's CRISPR Roots. What have we done, about 80 albums this year? How about that? Peace, yo.